Have you ever watched your child completely melt down over something that seemed so small, like the wrong cup, or a broken cookie, or a game that didn't go their way? And suddenly the whole house felt like it was on fire. And as a parent, you're standing there thinking, why is this such a big reaction? And how the heck do I help my child handle their feelings better? Hello, my friends. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is Self-Led Parenting Live, a space where we explore what it looks like to parent our children and our own inner systems with curiosity, compassion, and connection. My name is Jacqueline Long, and I'm a licensed MFT, and I work alongside an incredible team of therapists who support families all across California in healing intergenerational patterns and building stronger relationships for years to come. And before we begin, I want to say this out loud. I'm not a perfect parent. I'm learning and growing just like you. You don't have to be calm, patient, or have everything figured out to be here. All feelings are welcome. All thoughts are welcome. All parts of you are welcome here. And I'm here to answer your real life parenting questions each week. So please write your questions in the chat. Jaylene Salas is here with us live as well to help answer your questions. So we're all yours. So ask away. And speaking of questions, let's begin with today's question. Parents ask me this question all the time. How can I help my child manage their feelings better? They melt down over the smallest things. They try to control everything. We've tried so many things and nothing seems to help, right? And I can hear how exhausting and discouraging that feels for parents. When a child has big emotional reactions, it can feel overwhelming for the entire family. So the instinct most of us have as parents is to focus on the child, right? How do I help them calm down? How do I stop the meltdown? How do I get them to manage their feelings better? Should I just ignore it, right? Parents bring their kids into therapy, which is wonderful, loving, and so supportive. But did you know there's something that might be even more effective than child therapy? The approach we take in self-led parenting begins somewhere else. It begins with a U-turn. Instead of focusing first on the child's big feelings, we gently turn inward and bring our awareness inside to be with our own internal systems first. We gently turn inward and notice our relationship with big feelings. That's right, my friends. We get curious about our relationship with big and often unpleasant feelings. So let's explore this together today. I'm going to invite you to pause. And if you're willing, go inside and bring to mind a moment when a child in your life had some big feelings. Maybe they were angry. Maybe they were disappointed. Maybe they were overwhelmed. As you remember that moment, see if you can notice what happens inside of you. Notice what happens in your body. Just see if it's okay to focus on those sensations for a moment. If not, just let it go. You can take a break at any time. If it is okay, just continue to notice. Where are those sensations? Are they surface or deep? Right or left? Forward or back? If those sensations carried a message, what might they say? Just notice if there's any color associated with these sensations. Maybe there's a kind of energy or vibration to them. If so, are they still or kind of frenzied, slow or fast, frozen or on fire? Just notice with curiosity. See if there's a name for this part of you. You don't have to go searching for it, just let it come to you. And see if you might offer this one inside of you, a little warmth. Just take a moment to see if it's possible to offer a little warmth or tenderness to this one within you. It's really okay if it's not possible. Just notice what's true for you. We don't go anywhere without permission from all parts inside. And if you are able to send a little warmth or tenderness inwardly towards this one, just notice how that feels, just scanning for any possible benefits. Maybe this one inside isn't even feeling that warmth yet, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes some time to develop this relationship and build enough trust for this one inside to feel you there with it. And now you can just gently bring your attention back into our time and space together and see if you might be willing to write in the chat some parts that might come up in a parent whose child is having really big feelings. You don't have to write about your own experience, that's more personal, but just in general, what are some parts that might get activated in a parent when they see their child breaking down over the simplest little things? Just write it in the chat. Your reflections can help other parents realize they're not alone in these moments. Just consider what are some names for some of these parts of us that might get activated when our child is melting down over homework or over going to school or even overeating the meal we just took all this time to cook? What are some common parts of parents that get activated when kids start melting down over these little things like a broken cookie? And I'll see if I can read some of your chats. Yes, parent goes into scared mode. Absolutely. So there can be a lot of fear that comes up. Trying to assess the situation. Yes, there can be some analytical aspects to our inner life. There can also be parts of us that kind of want to back away, like beep, beep, beep. I'm just going to turn my back on this situation. If I ignore it, it'll go away. Fix it parts. Yes, thank you. Great. Thank you so much for your courage to engage with me. So rich. So, what do we do when we find these parts of us inside? We love them. We welcome them in. We embrace them. So, yes, my friends, when my own child is melting down, lots of different things come up inside of me. Maybe there's a part that feels overwhelmed. Maybe there's an urgent part that wants to shut the feelings down quickly. Like, don't worry, be happy. I'll get you another cookie. I'm here to the rescue to put out the fire. Maybe there's a part that feels embarrassed or frustrated or powerless. Maybe there's a worried part that worries about my son's future. Maybe there's a self-critical part that tells me I did something wrong. I must have done something wrong in my parenting for him to be acting this way. Maybe there's a regretful or guilty part. And guess what? Guess what, my friends? All of these parts of me simply need my attention. Yes, all of these parts of me deserve my loving attention. All of these parts of me need me to see that they come with good intentions for me and for my system. And if I can give a little love and attention to all of these parts of me, I can be more present for my son's feelings. It's all connected. So the first question in self-led parenting becomes, what is happening inside of me right now? Right? Do you feel that shift from out there to in here? It makes sense, right? The emotions in our children that feel hardest for us to tolerate are often the same emotions we learned to push away inside ourselves. The parts of ourselves that we exile, the feelings we learned were too much, the ones we tried to avoid feeling, are often the same feelings we struggle to make space for in our children. Because, my friends, here's the thing. Children do not learn how to handle big feelings by being told to calm down. Kids learn to handle big feelings by being in a relationship with someone who can stay present with big feelings. If anger or sadness or disappointment feel unacceptable inside of us as the parent, those emotions will feel threatening when they show up out there in our children, right? If our children are feeling these big, unpleasant feelings, and those feelings are unacceptable to us inside, we will perceive our child as a threat, and we will need to shut it down or get away. Our nervous system will interpret that as a threat, as danger. And when those feelings inside ourselves or our children get pushed away, they usually grow stronger because they're asking to be seen and understood. Being seen, heard, and understood is a basic human need. And these parts of us inside are a hologram of the greater whole, right? These parts of us inside carry that same basic need inside of them too. Each part of us longs to be seen, heard, and understood by us, embraced and included by us. Okay, so I'd like to offer some key takeaways, but first, let me just pause and see if you have any quick questions I can answer, and then I'll walk us through the takeaways for a moment. Let's see. Okay, no questions yet, but please feel free to ask. All right, so here are some key takeaways from today, and I'd love to invite you to write some of your favorite phrases in the chat. I always feel a little nervous when I'm looking at the chat. So anyway, you can write anything that you want to help, anything you want to remember, just put it in the chat. Okay, so some key takeaways. Big feelings in children activate parts of us inside. The U-turn means noticing our own internal response first. When we bring curiosity to our own feelings, we become safer companions for our children's feelings. When we're in relationship with our own inner life, with our parts, we become more self-led. And when we're leading our own internal system with this self-energy, with more calm confidence, more compassionate curiosity, more grounded creativity, we can truly help our children process their emotions, and that helps them. Nothing benefits a child more than a parent who is deeply dedicated to their own inner journey of healing and transformation. Let's take a breath together to let that land. And again, just feel free to write your favorite key takeaways or phrases in the chat from all of that. What stands out to you? What do you want to remember or take home or carry with you? Okay. Question, do you find it helpful to vocalize the internal voices for calming ourselves to our children? Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I do find it helpful. It's really good modeling to be able to say out loud that we're noticing different parts of us inside. So, first, it helps to be with those parts of us for a moment so we don't speak out from them, but we can speak for them on their behalf. And then, yeah, it can be helpful to say, I'm noticing that a part of me is feeling a little overwhelmed. I'm noticing a part of me is feeling like it needs to take a break, and another part of me really wants to stay close and be here for you. So it can be helpful to talk about a couple of different parts of us sometimes, you know. And then ultimately I might say something like, if I was really starting to rev up and I couldn't stay and listen to my child's feelings, I might say something like, I'm noticing a part of myself needs a little break and I'll be right back. I love you. So instead of, you're so overwhelming, I can't handle you anymore, which I kind of refer to as you energy, I do a U-turn and I talk about what's happening inside of me. And I share some of the different parts of me inside. It's a great question. Thank you. Okay. So, my friends, before we end today, I want to close with something that will hopefully become a tradition here on Self Led Parenting Live. At the end of each episode, I'll read a short letter written from the perspective of a child or teen to the adults in their lives. These letters aren't meant to fix anything. They're just meant to help us remember what it can feel like on the inside of childhood or adolescence. So, here's today's letter. Let me open it up for us here. When my big feelings scare you. Dear Mom and Dad, sometimes my feelings get really big. Sometimes they get big over things that might seem small to you, the wrong cup or a game that didn't go the way I hoped, or something changing when I thought it would stay the same. I know it can look confusing from the outside. Sometimes it probably looks like I'm being dramatic or stubborn or like I'm trying to control everything. But inside, it doesn't feel like control at all. It feels like a wave that suddenly gets really big and I don't know how to stop it. When my feelings rise up like that, something inside me is just overwhelmed. My body feels tight, my thoughts move fast, and it feels like everything is too much all at once. What helps the most isn't when someone tries to stop the wave. What helps is when someone stays with me while the wave moves through me, while the wave moves through. Sometimes my feelings scare you. I can see it on your face. Your voice gets sharper, your body gets tense. You tell me to try to calm down. You tell me to take a breath. You tell me it's not that big of a deal. And then my feelings get even bigger because now it feels like my emotions are too much for both of us. But when you slow down, when you take a breath, when you stay calm enough to stay close to me, something inside me begins to soften. It doesn't mean my feelings disappear right away, but they don't feel as lonely. When you can stay with my big feelings, I start to learn that feelings can move through without breaking the relationship. And slowly, little by little, I begin to learn how to stay with my own feelings too. I'm not trying to control everything. I'm trying to figure out what to do with these feelings that feel bigger than me sometimes. And when you stay steady, even when my feelings are big, it teaches me that emotions aren't something we have to push away. There's something we can move through together. So please try to hang in there with me if you can. If you can't, I don't know, maybe you can get some help with that because it seems really hard for you. And I think you being calm and close to me during my big, messy, angry meltdowns is something I really need. Love, your kid. So let's pause together to let that letter land. Yeah. And just imagine those words coming from your own kid. As we close today, I want to remind you of something important, especially after a letter like that. You don't have to do this perfectly. In our house, we actually call it the P word, as if the word perfect is off limits. Parenting isn't about always getting it right. It's about building a relationship with our children and with the parts of us inside that get activated along the way. So, if something in today's conversation stirred or awoke something inside of you, that's information for learning, growth, healing, and transformation. It's like a trailhead, the beginning of a whole healing journey just waiting for you, the parent. Internal activation is an invitation. The internal activation is an invitation to pause, to notice what's happening in your body, and gently turn toward the part of you that's having a reaction, the part that's just in need of your attention. That's the U-turn. And when we bring even a little more warmth and curiosity to our own inner world, it begins to change the relational field around us, between us and our kids. And that one small change can lead to positive shifts for generations to come. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing some of the most important work in the world. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 12.